So, for our viewers to know, she is Mrs. Shalu Bharati, who is a counseling psychologist from Mind Your Mind. And we are having her for almost all the days, last all the days, for discussing the mental health vocabulary series. And today we are going to discuss letter R. Yes. So, let's quickly talk about that why we had started this series, and then we can start with the
Yes. So me and Priyansi were thinking, okay, let our viewers know some words and the meaning of these words. So for that reason, we thought of doing this mental health vocabulary from A to Z, and we're just taking 4 words from them. We have lots of words. It's more than 800 pages dictionary,
words.
but we cannot talk about it. We need years for it. So we're just taking four words from each letter, and we are discussing it here so that people should not use them loosely. They should use wisely. And if they know the meaning of it, they'll use it properly. So that was the idea behind all this. And so we are working on it and we
We're
are being
almost,
successful.
yes, we are almost like on the end, right? So we are taking these
Yes.
words from today's words are taken from the Oxford Dictionary of Psychology by Andrew Coleman. Yeah. So let's start with the first word, B.
Okay. So the first word is retrograde amnesia. First, I'll read from the dictionary and then we'll talk about it, okay, with examples. Okay, so retrograde amnesia is a loss of memory for events or experiences before the traumatic event or incident that causes amnesia. First, we'll talk about what is amnesia. Amnesia is a Greek word which means forgetfulness. But this is not equal to normal forgetfulness. Like you go to the market and you forget something. That is not amnesia. Amnesia is like forgetting everything about it. Means every aspect. It is like just deleting the whole thing in your life. That is amnesia. And there are two kinds of amnesia, retrograde amnesia that we talked about, and there is another one that is called anterograde amnesia, which means the loss of memory of events or experiences after the traumatic event. So there is a trauma, and before the trauma, means if you're 25 years of age, so you have a trauma at 25. Now you forget everything before that is called retrograde. And if you, yeah, and if you have the trauma at 25 and you cannot form any more memories, you just remember the past memories before 25, but you don't know the memories later on that you process. That's called anterograde amnesia, and which is very common, mostly because of trauma in the brain part, or maybe due to some radiations or defect in the brain, or you cannot retain those memories anymore. That is retrograde. That is called anterograde amnesia. You want to add something,
Yeah,
Priyanshi,
so
on
this
this?
reminds me of a few movies from Bollywood. So, like, there was this movie Sadhna, if you remember, Sri Devi and Kamal Hassan. Kamal Hassan, yes. So, that is an
Yes.
example of retrograde amnesia where she forgets, like, she meets with an accident, I suppose, and then Kamal Hassan finds her in the hospital. Something of this sort happens, and she forgets that from where she has come, what is her name. She forgets all of that. So that is an example of retrograde amnesia where Sridevi doesn't remember anything uh, before the accident that has happened.
Trauma, yeah.
Yeah. So she doesn't know who she is. So that is an example of retrograde amnesia, right?
Yeah, Bollywood has many examples of retrograde amnesia, but anterograde amnesia is very common. Very common because it is a main problem in old age people. It can happen because of heart problems or strokes or medicines or aging. That's why.
And I guess anterograde amnesia was seen in movie Ghazni, where Amir Khan cannot remember the new
He
experiences that
cannot,
he's
yeah,
remembered. So he'll write on his body, he'll flip the picture of new friends of the doctor, he'll get them tattoo on his body. So that is anterograde amnesia, where he's not
yes,
able to remember the new information. So that is anterograde. And he
yes,
remembers what has happened before the trauma. He knows,
before,
yeah, he knows the friend was
yes,
raped and all of those things. So he remembers all of those things.
yes, very correct,
Yes.
yes.
So let's discuss the second word. The second word we have today is recency effect. Okay. When I talk about the recency effect, the dictionary says in serial learning, enhanced memory for the last items in series of items that have been learned. So recency effect, as the name suggests, recent. Something that has happened recently and you remember that correctly, and you don't remember what has happened earlier. So you make your judgments, your perception on the basis of what you remember from the recent events. And the opposite of recency effect is primacy effect, where you remember what has happened first and do not remember what had happened recently. So like an example that we can take is like, suppose I have to get a promotion. Okay. I have been doing so many projects, successful projects. I've been getting profit for the company, but I do not get the last project, on successful on success, or it is a failure. I get a loss to the company. So if the company stops my promotion on the basis of the last failure in the project, so that is recency effect, where they only remember the last project that I failed in, but they do not remember what successful project I had given to the company earlier. So that is like a recency effect. And primacy effect, like I said, you remember what you had done the earlier, and you do not remember what had happened in the recent situations. Like it usually happens, right? Husband, wife, or girlfriend, boyfriend just fight with each other. You did this 1 year ago. You did that 2 years ago, right? So they do not remember what had happened recently, and in the argument, it comes, you did that 2 years before. So that is primacy effect, where you remember when you argued for the first time. So that is primacy.
Yes. So, Priyansi, it is like recency and primacy, they form a U. So whenever you learn, if you're given a list of words, you will always remember the first words and the last ones. And this forms a U. And you will forget the bottom part of
Yeah, the
everything.
middle part of
So,
it.
yeah. So even the children who go for their exam, they remember what they had learned earlier, and the last minute learning that they had done before going to the exam hall, they remember at that moment, and they cannot write with that speed. And later on, they feel that, oh, that forgetfulness is coming in. And then they forget, oh, I had just remembered this answer and I cannot write it. And that's what is recency and primacy effect.
Yes. Yes. Let's.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we go for the third word, and this is very common. I have seen it's a common problem. It is called restless legs syndrome, a condition classified as discomfort in the legs and an urge to keep moving them, especially at night, worsening during periods of inactivity and relieved by movement, given by Welles-Ekbom, also known as Welles-Ekbom disease. So, this is a problem. It can develop in childhood and can continue. And those who have problem when they are in the form of inactivity or when they are sleeping in the night, there's an urge in their legs to move. They can, if you ask them, they will say, we don't know what sensation are these. They can be tingling, like a current feeling, or there's just an urge. Because of this movement in legs in the night time, they cannot sleep properly, and so they have problems in sleep, and that can be a big issue in their life. But when they go to the doctor, they don't go to the doctor because they think okay, the doctor will say this is nothing, don't worry, it's not such a big thing to take care of. But yes, it is a big thing, should be taken care of, and because that disturbs the sleep cycle. And sometimes you have cramps in the night, so it is very hard for a person to sleep who has this is also a restless leg syndrome. This is called RLS. Okay, so doctors understand this as a problem, and anyone who has it, please visit the doctor. You want to say something on this, Priyansi?
Yeah, so I was saying that it happens, right? So there are some people who fidget their legs a lot. Yeah, so that will come under this, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the fourth word that
next word.
Yeah, the fourth word we have is reciprocal altruism. The dictionary says a form of altruism whose performance or continuation is conditional on the recipient behaving altruistically or helpfully in return. So like we already know what altruism is. Altruism is basically the helpful behavior that people have. So they are called as altruistic. In the same way, we have reciprocal altruism, where I feel that I will help you if I get some help in return as well. Okay, we can understand this with an example of fish. So, like, there are big fishes. There are big fishes in the pond. Okay, so what they do is they do not eat the small fish because there are some small fishes who clean their teeth, right? Who act as cleaner fishes. So this is like you clean my teeth and I do not eat you in return. So that this is seen in animals as well, which is called as reciprocal altruism. Another example can be like if I am someone who's always helping you, okay, I'm like, okay, I'll help you with this. You want help in your work, you want help at your home. I'm always helping you, so I expect something in return as well. If you have a strong moral ground, then you will also come and help me. That okay, Priyanshu always helps me. I will also go and help her. So that is reciprocal altruism. When I am helping you, you are also helping me in return. Right? You want to add?
Yes, very well. Yeah, yeah. So we can understand with this model also that how altruism, reciprocal altruism works, right? So it is like I do a favor to you. Now, there are two sides. If I'll receive the favor from you or not, from me or not, or if I give you favor. So there are two chances that I give you favor or I don't give you a favor. Right? So if I give you a favor in return, then that is called reciprocal altruism. But if I don't give you favor, then you will think that okay, you don't like me, or we don't have any connection anymore. So it is like it is unlikely that I'm not going to help you, and then there is no bond. So this altruism, reciprocal altruism, helps a person to identify that this person is mine, will come for help in the long run or not, or this person will be there in the long run with me.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah. So reciprocal altruism helps humans to understand relationships.
Right. Got it. Yes. So we have a question, Dee, if you can take that. The question is it similar to quid pro quo that we had discussed yesterday?
No, it is very similar nearby, but not exactly, because this is you can say this comes from this quid pro quo is like you scratch my back and I scratch your back, but it doesn't run in families, right? But this reciprocal altruism, it is in genes. It runs in, right? As you talked about the fish, the big fish, they're not eating the small fish because that is reciprocal altruism. They don't understand quid pro quo, right? That because that is in genes now. They know this, that I will not eat this fish. How did they learn this? That is inbuilt, that is in genes, that is genetic part of it, that is part of natural selection. That is the way they know their race will survive. That is called survival of the race. That is Charles Darwin's natural selection theory also. That's a part of it.
Yeah, that's part of
naturalistic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, reciprocal altruism.
Right.
I hope you get the answer.
Yes. Okay, so we had discussed the 4 words today. The 4 words that were discussed are retrograde and anterograde amnesia. Then we had discussed recency and primacy effect, restless leg syndrome, and reciprocal altruism. Yes. So these are the words we had discussed today. We'll be back with a new letter and some more words tomorrow. And we're almost on the end of finishing our A to Z series. So we'll be back with tomorrow with S. And all those who are joined, thank you so much. And thank you, Shaludi, for being here.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. And thank you, viewers. And the questions that you put, it means you're really following our, words, that you have questions that yesterday was this word and today is this word. It means you're understanding. So we are glad that we are making some mark on it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Right. Okay.
Keep watching. Good
Bye.
night.
See you tomorrow.
Ciao. See you.